Talk about, how about the big Hall of Fame? Can we mention this real quick? Because I heard they're starting to announce the people for the big Hall of Fame ceremony in where the fuck they're in Las Vegas. I guess it's in Las Vegas with WrestleMania again this year, correct?
Correct.
Well, I heard they're announcing people. Did they announce somebody?
They've announced 2 people so far. There are rumors about some other people.
Well, I know they surprise inducted Triple H, but I'm talking about the official announcements are starting to be made. This is what I know.
Of course, Triple H was surprised. He didn't know that his best friend and his wife and The Undertaker were backstage waiting to surprise him. But on the heels of the Triple H announcement...
normally you don't want an Undertaker waiting to surprise you.
Well, on the heels of that big announcement, speaking of The Undertaker... I know,
because, hey, last week I walked past a cemetery, 2 guys ran after me with shovels.
Well, Jim, speaking of The Undertaker, going into the WWE Hall of Fame in the I Slept With a Wrestler division... I shouldn't say that, but what the fuck? Michelle McCool, WWE Hall of Famer. According to the video that aired on SmackDown last night, I know you didn't see it, they called her a trailblazer. The same words used for Leah Maivia last year, a trailblazer and a legend. I mean, is anyone a fucking legend at this point?
Have we ever seen Michelle McCool wrestle? I mean, well, she's been retired, I guess, for a while. Have I ever spoken of seeing Michelle McCool wrestle?
I don't know if you would have ever seen her. She was from that dark period where everything was Vince McMahon and awful, like in the early part of the 2010s, and she was in the team Lay Cool with Layla. I believe they were both Diva Search or Diva. They tried out to be divas, and they got into wrestling. And I don't think Michelle McCool's ever had like a classic match or a good match. I can't remember a single thing that she did that was good. But she married The Undertaker, and it's a new era of nepotism in WWE. And I'll tell you, I mean, we'll talk about Vince McMahon a little later. I'm still not giving out they're going to have Vince McMahon back on this show, but we'll see what happens. But The Undertaker's wife being put into the WWE Hall of Fame, this is the modern era of WWE. And this is why the Hall of Fame, while it's a big moment for the people going in because you're being honored, it's hard to take the process that goes into picking who's a Hall of Famer seriously in any way. Is she a Hall of Famer? In any, realistically, any wrestling-based Hall of Fame, even if it was just about women wrestlers, would she be a Hall of Famer?
Again, I'm not the expert because I can't remember ever having seen her do anything. I do admit that I didn't watch WWE wrestling from around, 2005 or 6-ish, probably through the time we started talking about things, but that era. But people are constantly retweeting great moments in WWE or wrestling history. There have been many documentaries on multiple platforms and broadcast outlets, from dark sides to light sides to life ofs to searching for treasures of, to people trying to confiscate used tampons by a celebrity, whatever the fuck. And Michelle McCool is never fucking mentioned. Michelle McCool is never present. Michelle McCool highlights are never offered for public consumption. How can you be a Hall of Famer when the shit you just did 10 years ago nobody wants to fucking look at?
Listen, The Rock got his grandmother into the Hall of Fame. Again, there is not a single wrestling Hall of Fame that would legitimately put Leah Maivia in them. The Undertaker's now got his wife going into the Hall of Fame. Apparently he doesn't even do The Undertaker anymore. Now he's only the American Badass. He retired the Undertaker gimmick that worked, so he's going with the gimmick that sucked.
Well, it's easier. He's going with the gimmick that's easier. He can just show up dressed as he is and speak normally, and people are only minimally let down.
Do you think if you're Steve Austin and you're negotiating to do something, remember, he wasn't a part of the big WrestleMania thing last year. He didn't want to do something unless there was a good plan, and Undertaker made the big surprise in the middle of the Rock thing. But if you're Steve Austin at this point and you're negotiating, Do you say, like, whoever I'm dating or married to that has to go into the Hall of Fame?
Well, no.
I would demand it. I would say you have to put my whole family in.
I don't know what Steve's current romantic or domestic situation is, so I'm not going to comment on whether or not that his spouse or significant other would even be a candidate for a Hall of Fame or whatever the fuck. But no, I think Steve Austin would just negotiate for more fucking money, is what Steve Austin would do. Because I don't think, I mean, obviously, Steve appreciates him or anybody else being honored by anything legitimate. But I think if it came down to a situation like this, he said, I don't give a fuck who you put in the Hall of Fame. Just give me more money, because he's a goddamn normal human.
Now, she's going into the Hall of Fame because she's married to The Undertaker, period. End of story. That's it.
That is kind of, would you even, okay, you know, earlier you said I'm a published poet, but more legitimately, you know, I was in another field. I was a pretty decent photographer. You've seen my work, and hopefully we're going to bring some more of that back to life with this project where we're going through the old files. But while my photography for the wrestling business at that era was quite good, in my opinion, some would even say excellent, I don't belong in the all-time worldwide photography Hall of Fame. I'm not Francesco Scavullo. I'm not fucking Annie Leibovitz. I'm not.
And she's a bit overrated. Listen, I don't think that's a good comparison, because you are a really good, talented photographer. So if someone was appreciating the work of the photography, even though it's wrestling, you would get in. She was not a standout wrestler or wrestling personality.
But what I'm saying, that's a completely different place that I was going to. What I was about to say was, if somehow the International Photography Hall of Fame in fucking Zurich, Switzerland called me one day and said, we are going to put you in the Hall of Fame next to, Matthew Brady, the great Civil War photographer, in the all-time photo Hall of Fame, I would be embarrassed to be sitting there with fucking major league people when you kind of had a peripheral involvement with a certain profession. Like Michelle McCool's involvement was peripheral. To where would you want that? Would you just say, no, that's okay. I'm quite happy being, Mrs. Badass and a mom or whatever. I don't know. It's a stretch to try to sell that induction there. Hopefully the speeches are going to be short this year.
See, that's the problem when they start throwing around the word legend and all-timer and Hall of Famer for anyone. And in this case, this isn't like Greg Valentine and Coco Beware sitting at ringside. They were big stars. They sold a lot of merch. Michelle McCool was someone on the show that married a wrestler. And now she's in their Hall of Fame. I mean, Ava, I'm sure, will go into the Hall of Fame any day now.
No,
I told you before, I expect Dixie Carter to get into this Hall of Fame before all is said and done. I think Brandy Rhodes is going to go into the Hall of Fame, and she deserves it. She cut one of the all-time great promos. Stephanie is going to go into the Hall of Fame. They've run out of women, I guess, that they want to induct between, the late 2000s and when they stop being divas.
I don't think they've run out of women. I think they're doing a favor with one of their slots for women. They could find other, people that probably would be a little more recognizable, but it wouldn't be fulfilling a favor at the same time. And they've got the quota and the certain amount of, we've talked about it, where they can't feature too many or too few, and one has to fit this category and the other one that category. So they're filling a favor with a female spot.
They're going to interact with people that have no idea about wrestling. And be like, yeah, she's a Hall of Famer too. She's a wrestling Hall of Famer. It's ridiculous. It has no legitimacy. It's so stupid. But I hope everyone has a good time.
Yo, it's going to be a ball. It's going to be a blast. I'm talking about it's the hot ticket in town, But here's the thing, Brian. If they don't put a limit on the speeches, you think Michelle McCool, she's going to go up there She's going to talk for a while. She's going to thank endless people. And by the time she's finished with that, I'm afraid that many people are going to be ready for a good night's sleep. But then they're going to be sitting there saying, instead of at home, in the comfort and privacy of my bedroom suite, with my Helix mattress that I could just fall into, it'd be like taking a trust fall into God's arms and being rocked in the cradle of rock the cradle of love. That's what you're doing when you're on a Helix. Instead of being there, I'm over here at this Hall of Fame ceremony, sitting on these hard chairs after spending hard cash, and I'm listening to these people drone on. And you're going to see a lot of people pull out their CPAP machines for their sleep apnea and just hook them up to the fancy Dan chargers they've got in the seats now in these buildings. And they're just going to be snoring away in bliss, but they're not going to be on their Helix mattress, which is a... Do you know what that proves, Brian? That proves don't leave home.
I don't know what any of this proves. Don't leave home.
I'll tell you what it proves. Don't leave home. Because if you leave, the farther away you get from your Helix sleep mattress, the more anxiety you will feel. Your body will start to vibrate. You'll start to shiver and shake. Your hands start shaking and your feet start quaking. The farther you get away from the Helix mattress, because you want to get back to it and envelop in its warm embrace. And as a matter of fact, they have a special, it's actually a derivative of a guava plant in Bolivia that they coat these mattresses in, that the farther away you get from it, it will chemically change your body to where you'll have a panic attack until you get back to this mattress. That's how they keep repeat customers.
That's not how they keep repeat customers. They have nothing to do with whatever you just said.
Well, this is only part of the Helix service, the guava plant extract.
That's 0% part of the service.
If you wear one of those devices like the Apple Watch or the thing that measures all of your various bodily functions, I tried to get the bowel movement measurement, but it wouldn't register. What? But it takes about how how much time you sleep and how many steps you take and all those things. Well, if you sleep on an old mattress or a tired mattress or a dirty mattress or some of the other people's mattresses, or worse than that, if you're sleeping in a doghouse because you're in trouble for various reasons, well, you're not getting any sleep. You can prove it with that. And then you get that same watch and you get the Helix mattress and you look. You'll see that it sometimes during the course of the night when you're sleeping on a Helix mattress, that watch is telling you you're not even still breathing. You're just so relaxed. You're not even. It'll tell you call the police. Is what it'll tell you.
What it's going to say is that you're still. Nothing's going to say that you stopped breathing because of your sleep, but you will sleep wonderfully.
Well, no, it's just
on a Helix sleep mattress
because you're so relaxed. See, when you take about a minute and a half in between breaths,
that would not even have anything to do with the mattress. What are you talking about?
These things, they'll slow your heartbeat down too, so it helps with heart disease. Because the more you use your heart, folks, the quicker you'll wear it out. If you sleep on a Helix mattress, your heart's barely beating. So folks,
again, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be beating just fine and sleeping just great.
Well, you can beat on the mattress if you want to, but why are you so angry, Brian? But I'll tell you what you can do, and without getting angry or pissed off, you can go to helixsleep.com. That's HELIXSLEEP.com/JCE. And what you do is you just get matched up by answering a few questions with the perfect mattress that they have for you. And then they will send it to you, and you will receive it in a condition, a little box in which you can put in the place you need it. And then you take it out of that, and poof, it becomes, and it's wonderful, and you'll sleep like you're in the arms of the angels. That's the way you'll just drift off into sunshine and lollipops. And you'll get 20% off. That's even better than sunshine. I'll do it again.
Guaranteed to be better than that.
You'll get 20% off. That's better than sunshine and lollipops. And 2 free dream pillows, which don't mistake these when you have dreams for large marshmallows. I did that one time. I was sick for a week. 20% off and 2 free dream pillows with a mattress purchase. HelixSleep.com/JCE. Just right now, though, because this may not last. I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't even know if it's still good. You better hurry. Do it yesterday. What do you know about this, Brian?
Do it yesterday, do it today, do it tomorrow. We love Helix Sleep over here. Jim loves it over there. You can love it wherever you are. Helix Sleep, one more time. What's that promo code, Jim?
That's right. If you want to get in the middle of me and Brian when you go to sleep, in between over here and over there, HelixSleep.com/JCE.